All right, this is for day 7, page 251 and page 252. We're not doing 53 and 54 yet. Now for page 251, they give you a shape on top, trapezoid, um, and they separate it into a rectangle and a triangle. Now it says, why is a trapezoid separated into a triangle and a rectangle? That's because it's to help us find the area. When we do this, we find the area for the triangle, and then we add it to the area of the rectangle. So we add both areas up. So we split it so we can add both areas up together. Number 2 says, how do you find the base of the triangle? This one right here, this base right here of this triangle. It's 1. But the whole base in the bottom is 3. The whole base in the bottom is 3. I know that this is 1 because the base on top is 2, and my base for my rectangle is 2. That means I would have 1 left over. If the whole thing is 3, the whole thing is 3, and from here to here it measures 2, that means that left over I only have 1 left. So I can say I did 2 plus 1 equals 3, or I can say I did 3 minus 2 to get 1. Which measure do you use to find both the area of the triangle and the area of the rectangle? Which measure do you use? I'm not so sure about that question. It's a little bit tricky, but what measure do you use to find? So like measurement, it might be square feet. So you can say that we use square feet to find both areas of the triangle and the rectangle. Now the part that I wanted to go over was page 252. This is where we have all of our work. We're going to do that on the other page. And we'll zoom in a little bit, just so we can see a little bit better. Now, for question number 4, it says, use the trapezoid at the right side to solve problems number 4, 5, and 6. So it says, draw lines to separate the trapezoid into a rectangle and 2 identical triangles. So whenever we do a trapezoid, we need to separate it into 2 triangles. We separate it like this, because this rectangle here is now going to measure 8 by 6. Now the triangle, we have the height, we have this base at 6 for the triangle, for both of them. What is going to be this part right here? Now we know that if this is 8, that means that this is 8. But we know the whole thing is 12. We know that this whole thing from here to here is 12. But we know that this is 8 right here. From here to here is 8. Color coded. So from here to here it's 8. But the whole thing is 12. So if this is 8, I can say this is 1 and 1. Let's see, 8, 9, 10. That doesn't make me 12. So let's try something else. Maybe they both can be 2. 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. Yep, that works. So we have our measurement. It says draw lines to separate the trapezoid into the rectangle and 2 identical triangles. What are their dimensions? So for the triangle, the dimensions are, my base is, so my base of my triangle is 6, and my height is 2 centimeters. That's right here. Once we flip it, this becomes a height. Now the triangle are both the same dimensions on both sides. So for my rectangle, my dimensions for my rectangle, my base is 8 centimeters. My base is 8 centimeters, and my height is 6 centimeters. But I have 2 triangles, remember that. I have two triangles. Now it says, what is the area of the trapezoid? So I need to add all the areas up. The 2 triangle areas and my rectangle area. Rectangle area is easier. 8 times 6 is 48. So my rectangle is 48 centimeters squared. Now my triangle is always 1/2 times base, which is 6, times height, which is 2. Half of 6 is 3. I multiply by that 2, and I get 6 centimeters squared. That means that each triangle is 6 centimeters squared. So 2 times. So when I find my work to find the area, I'm going to add 6 centimeters twice, because those are my 2 triangles, those are my areas, and then I'm going to add my rectangle, 48. And all of these are centimeters squared when I add them. Now when I add this, 48 plus 6 equals 54, plus 6 more is 60. That means that I have 60 centimeters squared for my area in total. Now let's go to the next one. It says number 6. Nick says that if you separate the trapezoid into one parallelogram and one triangle as shown, the area will change. Is he correct? So he's saying if he changes it like this, is the area going to be this? He says that the area will change. Is he correct? I don't think he'll be correct, but let's find out. So that means we need to find the area for this trapezoid and this triangle. Trapezoid is height, which is 6, and base, which is 12. This will give us 72 centimeters squared. Now we need to add, wait a minute. The base is not 12. The base is 8. If this is 8, that means this is going to be 8. I forgot that that 12 is to help us find the triangle thing. So for example, the top is 8. If the top is 8, this is going to be 8. But this whole thing in the bottom is 12. This whole thing is 12. So this is 8. I need 4 more to make 12. It says 12 right here. Now, for the parallelogram, is base times height, so it's 8 times 6. And that would give us 48. Now my triangle, my base of my triangle is 4, and my height is 6. So for my triangle, my area would be base, 1/2 times base times height. Half of 4 is 2. 2 times 6 is 12. So my areas are 12, 48. When I add 48 plus 12, I get 60. My area stays the same. This guy said that the area will change. He is wrong. Explain. I just did. My work's over here. Now, number 7 says the area of a trapezoid is 30 square centimeters. So this time, we're not finding the area. So, like the area, they just give us the area. Now, it says that the height is 4 centimeters on this trapezoid. So let's go ahead and actually draw it out. So they said that this trapezoid has a height of 4 centimeters. So this right here is 4. That means my two triangles are going to be 4. Okay. It says the shorter base measures 6 centimeters. This is the shorter base, so this measures 6 centimeters. What is the measure of the longer base? So what is this base measure right here? Draw a picture to solve the problem. Now, first of all, this square right here, 6 times 4, that's 24. We have 24, for this square inside, our area is going to be 24 centimeters squared. Now, why does that matter? We have to use that area with the information they give us. The trapezoid, the area of the trapezoid is 30 square centimeters. So that means that if the whole trapezoid is 30 and the rectangle is 24, I only have 6 left over for this area and this area. Both of these are the same. So I'm going to divide the 6 that I have left over as my area by 2, and I get 3. That means that each triangle would be 3 centimeters squared for the area. And look, it works. 24 plus 3 is 27. 27 plus 3 gives me 30. So that gives me my 30 centimeters squared for my area. Now it's asking me, how much does this base measure? Now let's use what we found about the triangle. The triangle is 3 centimeters squared for the area. So the area for the triangle, 1/2 times base times height. We know the area is 3. We don't know what the base is, but we know what the height is 4. Now I'm running out of space, so I'll move a little bit. Now, this is the area for the triangle. We know it's 3. We know it has to equal 3, but we don't know what the base is. We're missing the base. But we know that 4, that half of 4 is just 2. So we have 2b equals 3 left over. Now, we need to multiply the 2 by something to get 3. 2 times 1 is 2. 2 times 2 is 4. Tricky. To get 3, this is really hard, people. Sorry about this. To get b, we would have to multiply 2 times 1.5. 2 times 1.5. And we get 3. That means that my base would have to be 2.5. 1.5. So this base would have to be 1.5. This base would have to be 1.5. because my base over here is 1.5. That was my missing side. I wanted to make it equal 3. Now, I know it's confusing people. It's probably the hardest question on here. But we in order to find the base of the bottom of the trapezoid, we have to add this base, which is 1.5, this base, which is 1.5, and then this base on top, which is 6 right here. So when I add 1.5 plus 6 plus 1.5, I get 9 centimeters. So the longer base measures 9 centimeters. This one's really hard, people, but try doing it again without me. See if you can do it again. That's actually a good practice problem. But that's it for day 7, page 251 and 252. Next video will be 253 and 254.